Welcome to ChalkTalk, a series of videos where we explain complicated technologies with just one chalkboard. In this video we'll be looking at Varnish, its internals, its heart, its caching engine. In the previous video you might have seen that there's a cache part in the middle of the entire workflow, and this is where the magic of Varnish actually happens. To look at how this is implemented, we will pretend to be browsing to this URL. So we'll go to nucleus.be/varnish. If you hit that in your browser, you'll see a page about Varnish. What does this look like for Varnish? So to start, your user is going to make a browser request that is going to contain a lot of metadata about that particular page. Metadata being what is the host you would like to contact, what is the URL of the page, and what protocol are you going to be using to access that page. In the HTTP protocol, this looks like a simple key-value separation of key and data. So you have a key called the host header, which is nucleus.be, this one. You might have cookies because you might be logged in and all your cookies are going to be sent along. You will request a get method on /varnish. You will also add additional headers like an accept header, say you'd like JSON responses instead of an HTML response, etc. All of that, usually it's a little over 10 of these different headers, are going to be sent to Varnish. Varnish is going to receive all of them, throw these headers into some kind of hashing engine, and out of it comes a unique hash for that request. That hash is going to be looked up in its cache. Think of it as a huge database of records, where each record has a name, its hash. And if that can be found, Varnish will plug that out of it and send it back to the client. If it can't be found, we'll have to make a request to the web server or the backend. What actually is going to happen is your browser will send a little over 10 different headers, but we and Varnish can determine what headers actually differentiate me from, say, my colleague. So I might be visiting nucleus.be with a certain set of cookies, and if someone with the exact same content in cookies and host header visits our page, it'll be served by Varnish. If there is any difference in the host header or in the cookie values, say instead of nucleus.be you visit www.nucleus.be, Varnish is going to put this in its hashing engine, and out will come a different hash because the input has been changed. Same if we would visit Varnish with a set of Google Analytics campaign parameters, those typical UTM parameters in the URL, it is going to become a different URL, and out comes a different hash. This means this page can probably be accessed through 10 or 20 different URLs just by adding a question mark and a series of parameters. Each of those will make a permutation, a change in the cache. So what is important for you as a developer or a website maintainer? Try to maintain as clean of a URL state as possible. So think of your host header normalization, make it either a www.nucleus.be or skip the www, but make this consistent throughout the entire site. Also rewrite pages that have a different header to this host header. Same applies to the URL you'd be visiting. In your code it might not even be case sensitive, but to Varnish it definitely is. Try not to add too many random parameters, keep it as clean as possible. But the real tricky part is the cookies. If you use session IDs, PHP or Ruby, it doesn't matter. In the end, my and my colleagues' session ID is going to be different and unique. My session ID is going to uniquely identify me as a visitor. My colleague's session ID will identify him as a visitor. That means session IDs being stored in cookies, we will get unique and hashing results within Varnish. So maybe you don't need a session ID all the time. Maybe you only need it if you have a shopping basket or if you are logged in. But if you generate a session ID for every visitor to your site, every visitor is going to appear to Varnish as a unique visitor. Only generate session IDs when necessary. Keep your cookies as clean and as little as possible, because every cookie you add, a language cookie, a preference cookie, you name it, will add a different version of the hash and a different version of the cache. So this part can grow incredibly fast because every version will be stored, but ideally you keep this as little and as few as possible as well. So to summarize, if you have a website with a URL, it'll have a protocol. This could be HTTP or HTTPS, And to Varnish, this doesn't really matter, because Varnish itself does not handle HTTPS. Something will sit in front to terminate HTTPS. In technical terms, it's another proxy in front of Varnish. But to Varnish, all it sees are HTTP requests. Then you have your host header, aka which website will you try to reach, and your URL with a set of cookies. And of all of the additional headers that are being sent, we can pick which ones we like and which ones we don't like. So if your application has additional headers that are very important to determine the hash and the uniqueness, we can add or remove those headers as well. Keep this as clean as possible, keep the cookies as clean as possible, and out should come the same hash for the same page you're trying to reach. In the next few videos, we'll look at how you can deep dive into this and how you can troubleshoot or determine why a certain page is cached versus why a certain page is not cached. Talk to you next time.